Yes, and welcome back to the 94 Club for your daily dose of country music. Hey look, this week we've got Chris Stapleton dropping a new track, so I'm super excited to get into that one. We're also going to look at American Aquarium, Tyler Tuesdays is back, Colter Wall is back. Who else are we going to look at? Corblund as well. I think there's some new artists that are coming to the channel that I've not heard before, so more excited than ever. Anyway, let's see who we've got today. Right, so not only did we have Tyler Childers back yesterday, we've also got Colter Wall back today. So excited to have him back on the channel as well. We know he's one of the leading guys and one of the leading people in country music right now. And he's still young. We've still got a fair few years left of him making music. Hopefully he doesn't decide to pull an early retirement, and we just get to hear this voice age throughout the years. But this one is Saskatchewan in 1881, so I got recommended a few times for me to listen to. I'm assuming Saskatchewan is the place in Canada that he's from or grown up in. We're looking back to 1881, so for me maybe it's a story of an outlaw that was alive back then. Maybe it's a look back at simpler times, better times, and something that we want back now. I'm really not sure. So we're going to get into it. We're going to see what we think. And as always, we'll do that little deep dive into the lyrics right at the end. But Colter Wall, he's an absolute master at what he does. This is exciting.
This one is called Saskatchewan in 1881.
That was a good year.
It was a great year.
One of the best years in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
What I notice a lot of Canadians do a lot, and it's very reminiscent of what we do over in the UK as well, is we're heavily sarcastic. So when he goes, it's 1881 in Saskatchewan, and whoever's behind the camera goes, it's a great year, it's a great year. It's just being heavily sarcastic. Let's carry on.
Mr. Toronto man, go away from my door. You got my weed and canola seed, you're asking me for more. Better fly, for I produce my 44. I'm just a prairie boy, never meant none no harm. Spend my days making wages out on the Martin's farm. No eastern boys are gonna twist my arm. It's so damn cold out here, the wind will cut you half in two. I ain't kidding now, my old plow is frozen to my mule. I've been living off ice cold rainbow stew. Don't be picking fights with no Mennonites. Don't be raising cane while they're planting grain and working through the night. They're gonna let you know if you ain't acting right.
I find the thing about Colter Wall is each song is like a history lesson. He's sort of telling you a little bit about what the time used to be like, what it used to be like living living back then. And when we do this dive into the lyrics right at the end, we'll talk a little bit about that, because he's using a lot of nice pieces of imagery that show how difficult things probably were back then, but he's doing it in a nice way and delivering a message. I mean, he's class, absolutely class.
Mr. Toronto man, go away from my door. Got my weed and canola seed, you're asking me for more. Better fly, for I produce my 44. Better fly, for I produce my 44.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right. Colter Wall is sitting here with us. He gave Bo a ride here, I guess, and is somehow stuck here.
Roped in.
He's absolutely class, absolutely world class. That boy is. He doesn't follow any formula. He just knows how to make music and knows how to write a song and knows how to write a country song as well. I think that's, you know, he's very classical in his approach, and that's why he's making songs about 1881. He's not making songs about meeting a girl at a bar in 2018. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got a lot of respect for those that have come before him, and that comes from having, I guess, like a lot of empathy, a lot of consideration, and a lot of care for his craft as well. And you can hear in his voice like he's worked on that so much. It is a natural talent, but you don't get to where Colter is without putting the hard work in as well. You know, he writes all his songs himself. The voice isn't, you know, it's not something you can go to a singing teacher and they'll tell you how to do it. Like I say, it's a natural talent, but he's worked on it. The little inflections in there as well that just sound so classic and so aged and experienced. And I've compared him to a good whiskey before. With time, he's just going to get better. And you think now, you're like, how can he get better? But, you know, I think he will. Right, so if we go into the song then, Mr. Toronto Man. So what he's basically saying, and this is something I touched on in previous videos, and when Colter does these little flashbacks to the past, when you listen to another song like American Aquarium that I did uploaded on Monday, which was called Me and Mine, which was basically a similar thing to what we're talking about here, but years and years on. Mr. Toronto Man, this is talking about a guy from the city coming in to try and take over. That American Aquarium song was kind of the result of that. So this is just an impeccably well written song. So he goes, Mr. Toronto Man, go away from my door. You've got my wheat and canola seed. You're asking me for more. You still see it now, like farmers do get ripped off by the major supermarket chains, especially. You just compare like the price of milk now, and I know it happens in the UK a lot. A lot of farmers don't even break even producing milk, and you're just like, well, how's that work? How doesn't make sense. But you're seeing this back in 81, so the guy that he's writing about in Saskatchewan is standing by his gun, and we see the 44 referenced a lot in country music, so it's definitely a weapon that I guess is symbolized in country as being a good weapon. Like I said, I don't know too much about it. And then he just does a little, within 3 verses, he just really tells you what it was like growing up back then. So I'm just a prairie boy, never meant no harm. Spent my days making wages out on the Martin's farm. No eastern boys are gonna twist my arm. So even from a young age, like he had his head, he had a good head on his shoulders. He kind of knew what he wanted to do and achieve in life, and knew what his purpose was, what he had to serve. And and it says, so it's so damn cold out here, the wind will cut you half in two. I ain't kidding. And this was probably my favourite line of the song. My old plough is frozen to my mule. And you know, when things freeze, they stick together, right? And just this idea of it being that cold, that his mule that is pulling the plough has got frozen to the mule, but the mule is still working it. Just shows like how hard the times probably were back then. I've been living off ice cold rainbow stew. Let me know what rainbow stew is, because I don't know. I assume it's some kind of like whatever meat you can get your hand on gets thrown in the pot, and you stew it up and eat that, but I'm not sure. Don't be picking fights with no Mennonites. Don't be raising Cain while they're planting grain. Like, apparently, I guess these are guys you just don't want to be messing around with. I'm working through the night. Gonna let you know if you ain't acting right. As this guy's grown up, as I say, he's got a good head on his shoulders. He kind of knows what role he has to play and knows what purpose he serves, but also knows that he has to keep other people in line as well. So he's just offering words of wisdom. These are the things you shouldn't be doing. And then we get back into that chorus again. So Mr. Toronto man, go away from my door. You've got my wheat and canola seed. You're asking me for more, better fly before I produce my 44. And he repeats that line as well at the end. So just like, to me, that's kind of him saying, well, I'm serious with what I'm saying to you. You better leave. Otherwise, you're probably not going to end up well. So really nice song, and just that voice and melody and I mean, this guy could probably read a page out the dictionary and I'd enjoy listening to it, but it's still a well-written song, and I just like these little flashbacks playing homage to classical country, but also to his location as well. I think he does it really well. Anyway, let me know what you all think and what Colter Wall song I should be listening to next. If you're not sure, hopefully by Wednesday I'll have made a playlist of Colter Wall reactions and reviews, and they'll be up on my YouTube page. And I'll do the same with Tyler as well. But for now, have a little skim through. If there's something I've missed and you want to see me react and review it, just drop it in the comments below. But as always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, and you will stay up to date with all the latest videos. But for now, that's me. Thank you. Peace. I will see you tomorrow for some Core Blund.